guys, it's Morgan. So today I'm going to be sharing with you 3 super easy, cute, and fun ways to decorate cupcakes for Halloween. If you want the full instructions, they will all be on my website, linked in the description box down below. So I'm starting off by making my cupcake base, which you can use, like store-bought cake mix or any cupcake recipe that you like. But this is mine that I always use, but it really doesn't matter. So I'm just starting with some flour, sugar, baking powder, baking soda, and salt, and then I'm mixing that all together. And if you want to make chocolate cupcakes, you can just replace some of the flour with cocoa powder, which I actually did for a second batch. And then for the wet ingredients, I'm just adding in applesauce, almond milk, some white vinegar, and some vanilla extract. And again, all of the recipe measurements and instructions will be on my website. So I'm just giving that a good mix, and then I'm going to add that to my wet ingredients, and then I'm going to mix it until everything is well combined. And this recipe will work with any all-purpose flour, so gluten-free all-purpose flour, white flour, whole wheat flour, anything like that it should work with, but it doesn't do too well with oat flour or almond flour. So then I am just putting that in some cupcake liners, and if you want to get some really cute ones, you should try the Dollar Tree or Home Goods. That's where they're really inexpensive, and they have a ton of cute ones. So I'm just filling them up, and then I also dyed half of my batch orange, which it's not super vibrant because natural food colors typically aren't super vibrant unless your cupcake mix was completely white. So if you did use all-purpose white flour, then they'd probably be a little bit more orange than mine were. So as you can see, they're orange, but they're not super bright Halloween orange, but that's okay. And I will leave the link to some natural food coloring brands in the description down below, or of course you could also just use artificial food coloring, but that is totally up to you. And then I also made a second batch that was chocolate. So for the chocolate batch, I just replaced some of the flour with cocoa powder, and then I mixed in some chocolate chips. The chocolate chips are optional, but I think they add a really nice touch. So I just added in my chocolate ones, and so for the first decoration, I'm just doing something super easy. If you don't think you're good at decorating cupcakes, this one is definitely for you. It's just very classic. So I'm starting off with white icing, and I do have one recipe for frosting on my website, but I don't like to make frosting. I prefer to just, get store-bought frosting because I just don't like making frosting for some reason. So I recommend the brand Miss Jones Baking Company. And as you can see, my frosting bag bust, and that's why there's all those little squiggly lines there. But if that happens to you, just put masking tape over the hole and it totally fixes your problem. So I just did some little swirls on each cupcake, and then I put this little sign that says Happy Halloween and a little pumpkin, and then I decorated them with some orange sugar. And I got the orange sugar as well as these little Halloween confetti sprinkles from Target, but you can also find stuff like this at Walmart and most craft stores. So for the Spiderweb cupcakes, I am starting off with some melted chocolate that I also put some coconut oil in, so that would be at room temperature. On a sheet of wax paper, I am drawing out my spider webs, and I found that the bigger you drew them, the easier it was to make it not all just go together. So I made a whole bunch of them just in case, I broke one when I was trying to peel it off or anything like that. So I just made a whole bunch of spider webs, and then you want to let it sit in the fridge, or you could even freeze it. It would be a lot easier to remove it from the paper if you left it in the freezer, but you want them to sit in the fridge until fully set before you try to take them off. And you could really do this with any shape. You could draw a jack-o'-lantern or something else if you're talented, but I didn't think I could pull that off, so I just went with a simple spider web, and even some of my spider webs didn't even look. To decorate these, I just dyed some white frosting orange, which again I used the natural food dye, so it wasn't super vibrant, but you could of course use any kind of frosting that you want for this, and I basically did the same thing as I did for the white ones, but I made it go up a little bit higher. I put a little more frosting. So once these spider webs were set, as you can see here, I kind of just peeled it off the paper and then set it on top of the cupcake. And I'm not gonna lie, this was actually really hard. I recommend making them a little bit thicker. So for the pumpkin cupcakes, I just took some Halloween Oreos. You want to make sure you get the like orange and black ones. So I'm just separating the cream from the cookies and putting the cookies in a Ziploc bag. So you just want to make sure that you get all of the cream out, and make sure that you separate like the cream from each cookie. Don't like just put them all in one pile, because each little cream part is going to be our pumpkin. And you could do this for as many Oreos as you want. I think I only did like 7 because I don't know why I only did 7, but I just did 7. So once you have taken all of once you've separated them all, you're just gonna roll the little cream center in a bowl. And this was actually like, if your hands are clean, it's easy, but once they get a bunch of the orange frosting on them, it gets hard. So I recommend like doing 3 and then washing your hands off and then finishing them. And then once you make all of the little balls, you want to set them in the fridge for a little bit until you're ready to use them. And then we're just gonna crush up all the Oreos, which I don't know why I tried to like do it with my hands. Don't do that, it's hard. And then once I realized it wasn't very effective, I grabbed a lemon squeezer. Again, I don't know why I used that. You could also use like a rolling pin, but I used a lemon squeezer, so you know, but it still worked. So you just want to make sure they're as fine as you want them. It doesn't really matter like how crushed they are, it's totally up to you. And then once those were in the fridge for a little bit, I just stuck a little bit of a pretzel stick into the top of each one to be like our little pumpkin stem. And I got these super thin pretzel sticks from Walmart that I just broke up and stuck them in there. So yeah, I thought those were so cute. And you could also, if you wanted to be super fancy, like make the details of the pumpkin with a toothpick. And for the cupcakes, I just put some chocolate frosting on top. You don't have to pipe it because it's going to be covered. You could just put a whole bunch on there with a knife, but it's easier with a frosting bag. And then I just dipped it into the Oreo crumbs that I put in the bowl, and then I put some white icing on the bottom of the pumpkin before I stuck it on top. And there you have it. These are all of your super cute Halloween cupcakes that will definitely impress all of your friends. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I upload new videos every Wednesday and Sunday, and I have so many exciting Halloween and fall videos to share with you guys. And again, the full recipe and all of the instructions for all of the cupcakes will be on my website, morganalamo.com.